The most important thing that I learned this week is that specificity is important. Specificity about goals and objectives, about context, about users or co-creators, in our case in Studio, it's about members. And I also realized that storytelling is a good way to test whether or not you're being specific. If you can't tell a story about it, it's probably too general, or if you're stuck down one path, then you might be framing the project at the front end a little bit too narrow. So those are some things that I discovered this week. I learned these things in Studio through our webs about our future casting projects. Ours was much too general, so it made everything connect to everything else. And then also through the story matrix that we were doing, once we kind of honed in, things started to come to light and it made sense across a 10-year span. And we could actually tell a few different stories about it depending on if the system's working or if it's breaking down. So I feel like we've gotten to a good place now, and I will use these tools in future projects. This is important because it changes the way that we frame a project at the front end, which then would change the way that we identify and solve problems within the framework. So it's a major component of design for sure. It's coming into play with my thesis as well, trying to find the right level of specificity, and I think that kind of testing it with storytelling might be a good way to know if I'm there or not. I'm excited to learn about scenarios next, kind of take these stories that we've been crafting and turning them into actual scenarios, and I'm excited to see how that can serve as a discussion point both within groups and between groups and even with non-designers. I'm hoping that they serve a little bit as a boundary object, which then could inform my thesis. I hope that they serve as talking points that are flexible enough to serve a number of different purposes for different people to use them in the ways that they need to use them, but also defined enough that everybody can talk about the same thing, be on the same page, bring their work together, and collaborate further.